Welcome back everyone. Welcome to the very first CAW University tutorial for WWE 2K18. You already know who this is, I don't need to introduce myself. But today we are going to talk about something that I said I was going to address in one of my weekly upload update videos. And it's something that I've seen in discussions on YouTube comments and social media about that I don't think a whole lot of people get a grasp on. And that is the body morphing functionality in 2K18. Now, if you've at all followed my channel any point in the last 365 days, you know the fact that one of the biggest gripes I had about 2K17's CAW mode was the fact that you had no body morphing. It was kind of like a Frankenstein type of thing where you piece together neck, arms, chest, thighs, legs with no morphing, and you ended up having a whole bunch of CAWs that had similar builds to each other. So naturally, when it is that I learned that they were putting body morphing back in a sense, that was one of the first things that I messed around with, because I wanted to be completely sure that I was going to be able to create the type of physiques for specific characters that I wanted. And as you've probably seen in some of the countdown videos that I've put out on my channel already, I think I've kind of nailed it. So now I'm going to show you guys how it is that I do it and show it how it is that you do it in general. So I'm going to do it for the females first, but then I'm also going to show how it works for the males. But it's pretty much the exact same idea. So here we are in the body morphing tab, and you can obviously see you have one box here and then another box here. You already know most of this. In each box you pick a base build. So on one side you can have a lighter build, and then on the other side you can have a larger build. And so then basically what you get visually is the in-between of both. And then you go into the slider here and you basically will affect the shape of the CAW depending on where it is that you affix the slider. So you can go either for max size or max lean. And this basically applies to each other build. Now you see here, this is the smallest type of build that you can possibly make for a female on the left side, and then on the right side the largest type of build, basically overweight. And basically you're just morphing anywhere in between there for specific effects. So you can literally have something sorta kinda in the middle, kinda like a skinny fat build, or you can go all the way slim with maybe a little bit of body fat on there, even though obviously it's a slimmer build. Or you can go full on straight oversized like Awesome Kong or Bull Nakano, or well, she wasn't really a big girl, she was kind of large. She would probably be somewhere in the middle of this particular combination here, as far as her physique was back when she was active in professional wrestling. So that's one example. I will show you another example here that's a little bit closer to each other. Here we have the more toned physique, and on the right side we're going to go with the full-on muscular physique. And again, you see kind of sort of a combination in the middle here. Truth be told, this is probably the combination that I use the most with my female creations, because I like that more athletic type of build where it makes sense for those specific characters. So in the middle here, we will slide all the way to the left, slide to the left, and you can see while it's a slimmer build, just like in the first example that I showed you, there's definitely a whole lot more body definition going on here. She's a lot more toned, a lot more cut up. You can see more muscle definition, even though she's slimmer. And then obviously, if I slide all the way to the right, you get a full muscle toned female, which is basically the base that I used for characters like Jamie Fury, Sarah Warfield, where it's just all basically muscle mass. Like very little body fat going on here. And the abs, the shoulders, the back, everywhere, pretty much. And then once again, you can go into several different points in between. And once again, this applies to every single body type that is available. You can mix and match many different combinations and end up having many different types of physiques as a result. Here we see kind of the slimmest build with kind of a middle of the road average female build. And you can pretty much see the same thing going on here, where if I'm in the middle, it goes one way, where there's a little more, I guess you could say, body fat. And then if I go the other way, she looks kind of sort of like she hasn't had a steak in about 15 years. Yeah, to each their own. It's just basically giving you more examples of the different kinds of combinations that you can create for your character's physiques, depending on what kind of physique it is that you actually wanted to make. So we're going to go ahead and finalize a build here. We're going to go with the OB/3X average build here, of being an athletic type of build, and keep it right in the middle there. And now we're going to actually kind of fine-tune how the physique looks like in the next menu. So after you've got your sliders where it is that you want for the base physique of the character, you go into confirm, and then here's where you do the body adjustments. And then here obviously is where you will pick different specific body parts to kind of tweak the overall look so that it doesn't look exactly like the same type of body build of another character that you've made. So you can have an athletic type of female character build like this, but they not look identical to each other because what it is that you're setting in this specific menu right here. And the same thing applies if it was, say, an overweight girl or a skinny girl or an average looking girl, a voluptuous girl, curvaceous, pretty much every single type of build you can think of. So we're going to go with some examples here that I commonly use. Chest, which is basically the boobs. They just can't put boobs, obviously, because this is a teen-rated game. They can't put breasts either, so yeah, chest, but you know what body part it is that you're talking about here. And you get different effects, basically. Different sizes, so to speak. The one that I typically use is going to be either the very last one on the bottom row or the first one on the bottom row, which I guess would be kind of like D cups, but just different types of physiques as to how it is that those specific body parts sit on the actual chest plates of the body itself. pretty much, to put it in layman's terms, the first one is natural and the last one is not natural, if you know what I mean. We'll leave it at that. So after you make your selection is where you would actually adjust the volume. Now, the one thing that kind of off-puts me is the fact that the selection that you choose is actually the maximum size that you can make it. You can't actually adjust it to be bigger in case you actually wanted to make that specific part bigger, which in the case would be oversized boobs, like double, triple D's or something like that. But obviously, also applying to like the arms or the shoulders, you can't have the 36-inch pythons or thighs the size of tree trunks and stuff like that. And I kind of sort of understand the reason why they went away with that body morphing system they had in 2K18, because they want the creations to look realistic, since it is that 2K's taken over and has gone more towards a simulation type of realistic approach to the WWE games themselves. You don't want monstrosities as creations in those specific games. Even though if you have a good look at the community creations, there are some monstrosities out there, let me tell you. Anyway, as we can see, adjusting it will reduce the size, but not necessarily the placements on the body. So you can still have that same type of effect, just kind of adjusted. And once again, that's just basically kind of further fine-tuning and tweaking the physique to be more unique physiques. That should be the title of this tutorial. Yeah, I think I might go with that. But you get the overall idea here with me messing with the volume. We'll do the same thing specifically with the stomach and abs, because this is also a major point that you can use to put a little differentiation. Like the first one here is like a pretty fit, slim type of build, but not necessarily as defined. It's the three lines torso, as I like to call it, which is kind of a standard type of appearance, so to speak, in comic books. A lot of times you'll see females who have like more athletic builds, but not be overly muscular, have this type of look in their midsection. So that's pretty common. And then as we go through, you see other different levels of muscular definition. Still the same idea, really defined abs. Then of course you have the fully defined abs. And you have not so defined abs at all. Like that one there at the end is skinnier build, whereas this one here is more, I guess you could say, fuller. Not necessarily fat, but certainly not necessarily muscle either. And all different points in between. And then once again, after you have made your selection, then you can go in and adjust the volume as to how it looks overall. And you can kind of see, I will actually put a close-up one there so you can actually see it in detail. The abs kind of sucking in or puffing out, pretty much, which is basically just further adjusting and fine-tuning to create an even more unique physique. I mean, if we take a look here, you can see how more profound the boobs look like, sitting over the more tucked in torso than it did when it was originally more puffed out. And that same effect goes for all the other parts that you can adjust as well. It's a combination of different results from the adjustments that you're making with the selections that you're making that further defines the overall body size and definition of that specific character. And therein, layman's terms, is how it is that you will be differentiating the looks of your characters. Take a look at the buttocks. And again, you'll see different effects. You have that more, I guess we can call it badonkadonk type of derriere. This one here is what I would classify as a fitness booty. Not necessarily big, but has its form and firmness. And yes, I do realize how very, very wrong this all sounds. But yeah, just bear with me here. And once again, after you make your selection is then when you also can make your adjustments to the volume of how it looks. And you once again can see how that affects the overall design of the character's body build, which is 10,000 times more than you could do in last year's version of the game, where all you basically did was just pick apart, and that was it. That's all you could do. So hopefully you're seeing now exactly how powerful this feature can be. So now let's take a look at how this will affect a male body type. Slight disclaimer here, this is actually the very first time that I'm touching the male call menu. Like, since I got the game, I've been exclusively working on female calls. But the idea is pretty much the same. And I'm going to use the same example just to prove it. Here we have the slimmest possible body type on the left, and on the right we're going to go with the biggest possible body type. And once again, you see a combination of both. And you're going to basically adjust the volume of his physique depending on where it is that you adjust your slider. Do you want him to be kind of, I guess the word would be chunky, chubby? That's the politically correct term. Or you just want to go full on big boy, Vader style. So that's one example. And then we're going to do the same other example of maximum muscle here. On the right, we've got the full-on muscular size. And then on the left, we're going to put the next size down. And you don't really see much difference except for the fact that the definition is lowering the further you go down, but there is still muscle tone going on here. So here you have kind of like a John Cena type of build. As a matter of fact, it looks very similar to John Cena's physique. And then on the other hand, you have full-blown IBFF bodybuilder type of guy who eats 10,000 grams of protein in a month and spends 50 hours in the gym a week. I kind of envy that. But yeah, that's another story. Anyway, you get the idea basically of how it is once again that you can create different overall volume effects when you combine different looks. We're going to take the slimmest look and combine it now with the maximum muscle. And it's pretty much the same idea, except the actual volume is slightly smaller, considering the base is slightly smaller. Now, if we take the big boy build and do the exact same thing, now you're talking a freak of nature when you get into the middle ground there, because you can see he's got body mass and he's got muscle definition. If you keep it somewhere within the I guess the 70% range, this is a body size that is more similar to that of someone like, say, and I do hope I say this right because I'm probably butchering his name in doing so, Hafthor Bjornsson better known to all you Game of Thrones guys out there as the Mountain. You know, that kind of strongman type of build that has both muscle and size, but not necessarily definition, even though there's still a whole lot of definition going on. But as we finalize and confirm that, once again, you'll see that we are going to be able to further evolve this overall look depending on the parts that we tweak with them. And now that looks really, really, well, unique, we'll say. And again, you can adjust the volume depending, and you see the effect. Now, strangely enough, reducing the volume actually increases the mass and size on the chest, which is the opposite of females. I don't get that. But yeah, like I said, this is my first time messing with the male menu, so you're learning this the same way as I am. But you can see pretty clearly how that differentiates and makes this guy look really unique. That's going to be the word of the day for this video, basically. Let's mess about with the abs and create some really extreme effects. Now we have that big, massive body size here, and we've also got a whole lot of definition going on in the abs and the chest, which is kind of sort of humanly impossible. But through the magic of video games, you can make it happen. And this is basically giving you that visual example of that you can make it happen exactly as you see fit, depending on how it is that you design or brainstorm how it is that you want your characters to look like. If you're into those type of big, strong, walking mountains of muscle, or you're Vince McMahon. Yeah, we're gonna add a drum roll. That one. Yeah. Once again, we'll take a look. You see the more defined back. We're increasing the mass of the back by increasing or decreasing the volume, and oh boy, this is just like, you don't want to run into this guy in a dark alley. Just on his size, you probably wouldn't want to run into a heavily muscular guy wearing nothing but black underpants in a dark alley anyway. He's on some shit. But yeah, this would be the makings of a very, very large and intimidating individual as we continue to make our adjustments. But you can pretty much get the idea of what it is that I'm selling to you guys here, as far as the overall builds, and then your ability to further define the builds inside of the body adjustment menus to create very, very unique physiques. Every time you hear the word unique, scream real loud. But yeah, like I said, this is something that I wanted to go into a little more detail with, because some people out there, and by some I mean a lot, don't have a full grasp on exactly what it is that you can do with this. So make sure that you get this out there to all of your friends on the game, any creators who might find this information useful. And also, of course, as it is ubiquitous for me to say, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you have not already, because I do tutorial videos like this almost on a regular basis, usually around the early stages of a WWE game. And then of course there's also my XWA show that is kind of cool, and some people out there like it. It's pretty fun. Just ask some of the people down in the comment section of this video. They'll tell you. They can vouch for you. They'll put in a good word. And if you are already subscribed, then of course also hit that little bell button to get notified whenever it is that I upload brand new videos just like this one, so that you can catch on and learn some stuff and be informed and entertained at the same time. And with that, this CAW University tutorial comes to a close. And yeah, I'm gonna have a whole lot of fun when I start making mail calls. I'm telling you, this is some powerful stuff right here. Anyway, that'll do it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Obi, aka 3X, signing off. Class is dismissed. Now go on, get at it.